welcome back to Treadmill Review Guru. Today I'm reviewing the NordicTrack RW900 Rower. This is the new model for 2022 and it just uses magnetic resistance, so it's super quiet. The 22-inch touchscreen is iFit enabled and it tilts and pivots so you can take those iFit classes on and off the rower. Now let's dive in and take a closer look. So when we tested the NordicTrack RW900 Rower, we compared it directly to the Hydro, the Concept 2 Air Rower, and also the ProForm Pro R10 Rower. That way we can just get a really good feel of this one and be able to draw from those comparisons. So jumping in to the overall construction on the RW900 Rower, it feels really solid and sturdy. Just keep in mind, it does just have a 250-pound weight capacity. It is on the lower end of other rowers that we've seen, like the Concept 2 is a 500-pound weight capacity, so it's not going to be best for larger users and users over that weight capacity. The overall footprint is 82 inches long, 22 inches wide, and 54 inches high. This new 2022 model doesn't fold, but it can be stored upright just as long as you have enough ceiling clearance to be able to, because it is pretty long, 82 inches, so you can fold it up and store it that way. It can be moved around. It has wheels under the front stabilizer, so you can lift up the back end of the rail and be able to move it around really easily. I think a big component of why it feels so solid and sturdy is because of the steel stabilizers and also this oversized rail. It's really large and it just makes it feel really solid and hardy. There's also leveling feet underneath the stabilizers, so you can adjust those to be able to plant it onto the ground so you can avoid any rocking. I really like the handle. It's angled slightly, which is nice, and I know our larger reviewer, Matthew's 230 pounds, does wish that it was a little bit longer just to be able to get a little bit wider grip. I didn't have a problem with it. I can wrap my hands around it just fine. It's not quite round. It's a little bit more of an oval shape. Personally, I prefer a little bit rounder handle, but with this one, I didn't have any problem. Just be aware that it doesn't offer that single rowing option. It's not like with the Concept 2, there's a little bit of webbing to place your fingers in so you can do single armed rowing. This one doesn't have that, but the texture on the handle feels really nice. It feels smooth, yet it doesn't get slippery when you get sweaty. It's a really nice handle and has nice placement to be able to clip in and out when you're ready to get rowing. And the footboards and pedals are also large enough to accommodate pretty much all sizes. They're 13 inches long and they're adjustable. It's a little sticky at first to adjust it. It just slips in and out, but it can be adjusted to fit your size, and your heel will clip in at the bottom so your feet will stay nice and secured. It offers a bit amount of that ankle flexion, so when you're in that catch position, you can lift up those ankles a little bit. So it allows you to be able to get enough flexion there. I also really like these large Velcro straps. They're really super easy to get on and off. I actually prefer them to others like the Hydro that just kind of clips in. These are just super easy to take on and off. What I really also like about the RW900 is that it just uses magnetic resistance, so it's super quiet. It also is really quiet because it has this belt that attaches the handle up into the flywheel. So the flywheel is inertia enabled, so you get a really smooth feel when you're rowing. There isn't lag or any sort of inconsistency when you're rowing, and that belt just makes it super quiet. Comparatively, the Concept 2 uses a chain, which can make a little bit of noise. Since it uses magnetic resistance on this rower, it's really quiet, and this belt component just really adds to that to make this rower suitable for really any space in your home. Noise is definitely not an issue. Also, the magnetic resistance has 26 levels. You can adjust it on the screen. It does have a maximum resistance level, and that might not be enough tension, enough resistance for some rowers, like advanced rowers and really strong rowers. So we encourage this more for beginners and intermediates. Some rowers, especially really strong ones, probably would be able to outrow this. That is the downside. Air rowers have unlimited resistance, so you can keep rowing and you're not going to be able to outrow it. We also did notice that with this belt, when you're out in the finish and then into the recovery, it loses just a little tiny bit of tension. So it doesn't quite hold that tension as the Hydro does quite as much. So it's just something to be in mind. So that's why we encourage it more for beginners and intermediate rowers that way. This seat is nice. It sits up pretty high. This is 19 inches from the top of the saddle to the ground. So it sits up pretty high. There are other rowers that sit pretty low to the ground, so if you have mobility issues, this can be a good option. So if you have kind of limited abilities to be able to sit lower to the ground, or if you just prefer sitting up a little bit higher when you're rowing, this is a nice option because it sits up nice and high. The rail's about 15 inches high off the ground, so you got it's definitely a little bit easier to get on and off of than some other rowers that are a little bit lower. And it's really nice and smooth when it's in motion, and I'm gonna show you in a moment in the functionality section. I'm gonna let you listen while I'm on it. Also with the seat, we did notice that it's a little bit more minimally contoured than other seats, like the Hydro has a little bit more cutout for your tailbone to offer that extra support, which we do like to see in seats. The amount of padding on this does make this seat fairly comfortable. One thing that we also really like about the RW900 Rower is that NordicTrack offers a 10-year warranty on the frame, so it really backs up this solid design that they've created. And also they offer a 2-year warranty for parts and a 1-year warranty for labor. So the console on the RW900 primarily consists of this 22-inch touchscreen. The touchscreen tilts and it also pivots, so you can take classes on and off the rower, and then when you're on the rower, you can get it to where it tilts just to that perfect eye level for you. Everything but these volume buttons that are in between the front-facing speakers everything else is within the screen. So you change the resistance within the screen, and then you also have all of the iFit capabilities within the screen. I really like these front-facing speakers. They're loud, they're clear, I can hear everything really well. iFit does come free for the first 30 days, so you can check it out. And we highly recommend using it on the screen. It just makes the rower that much more interactive. iFit has thousands of classes. This is the home screen. And you have access, you can see all of suggested classes, and they have classes on the rower. They also have classes on their other equipment like treadmills, the exercise bikes, ellipticals, and then they have classes just that use a mat, sometimes just a dumbbell that you can take off equipment, and they also have classes for meditation, yoga, TED Talks. There's this really nice search bar up here, so you can look for a really specific class. So you can either type something up here, you can also filter by the instructor, and also because the classes are filmed either in a studio or they're filmed outside, they have both options. Each class feels different anyways because they've literally filmed the outdoor classes on every continent. So you can pick and filter here by the duration, and all these different options so you can find that specific class that you're looking for. There's also series and challenges, so you could take a series of rowing classes, like they have a beginner rower series that can be taken over the course of a couple days or a few weeks, especially if you're newer to get going. And a lot of times those are filmed with either the same instructor or they're filmed in the same location. So now let's dive into a outdoor class. I'm constantly impressed with iFit's outdoor classes. They're some of my favorites. They're filmed in beautiful locations all around the world. And today we are gonna check out Ashley Lake in Montana. So when you start the class, it'll show you that map, and then it'll show you the surrounding landscapes. As you can see, the graphics are super clear. The screen just really enhances the videography, I think. And as you're going, the instructor will kind of give you a little bit of a kind of intro before the class starts, and then you'll immediately start going, and it's going to show her perspective on the lake, so you'll see kind of the back of the boat, and it just makes it feel like you're there, especially when you get rowing. And then also the camera will pan to the surrounding landscapes. The camera will pan on her for a moment. So they change it up so you can see everything, and it just makes it feel that much more interactive. And also a really cool feature with iFit is that they have an auto adjust feature to adjust the resistance for you. So we're already on resistance 6 as we're going. If this is too much or too little, you can also add it on. You can bypass that feature at any time, but I really like it because it really gives a hands-free experience when you're in iFit. If you don't want to use iFit, you also have the option to bypass the login page and access the free classes that they have available. They have some that are led by instructors, and then they also have some that look like the manual mode, which I am popping up. So it'll look like this track, and then with the pre-programmed workouts, your resistance is automated, so it'll already have preset levels for you to go at. You can also bypass it at any time. With manual mode, you have full control over your resistance and your workout duration. You just get on and go, so that's always a really nice option, especially if you don't want to get into more of the tech. One thing to keep in mind is that for the iFit and the pre-programmed classes, they do require a Wi-Fi connection. Manual mode doesn't, so you can just hop on and go. You don't need to be connected to Wi-Fi. So it's really nice that you have all of these options on the touchscreen, and it really just makes this rower that much more interactive, especially when you're in that iFit class, in those iFit classes. That's why we definitely encourage you to check out that monthly subscription. It comes free for the first 30 days, so you can check it out and see if you like it. Now I'm going to let you see and hear how the RW900 performs. So I'm going to row, right now I'm just at the lowest resistance, which is level 1. Move up to resistance 10. And here is the highest resistance, resistance 26. So as you can see, with the magnetic resistance and that belt, the noise output is very minimal on this rower. So a few things to keep in mind with the NordicTrack RW900 rower is that all the functionality is primarily in the 22-inch touchscreen. You don't have those extra adjustment buttons on the outside of the screen, usually either on either side or underneath like you do on some other rowers that we've tested. So just know that you have all that functionality there. We would like to see maybe some of those quick adjustment buttons so you can quickly adjust your resistance that way, but it's pretty easy to adjust it on the screen. Also, it uses magnetic resistance, which does have a maximum resistance level. So it might not be best for advanced rowers and really strong rowers because it might not provide enough tension. Also, the weight capacity is 250 pounds. It is on a little bit of the lower end of weight capacities that we've seen on other rowers. So just be aware this isn't going to be best for larger users and users over that weight capacity. Things we do really like is this 22-inch touchscreen. It tilts, it pivots, you can kind of get that perfect angle to avoid that overhead glare, and you can also use it to be able to see the screen when you're off the rower, like when you're taking those iFit classes. This RW900 rower is super quiet. It uses that magnetic resistance and also has that belt, and these components make it to where it's really great pretty much for all kind of home spaces. You have very minimal noise. The noise that comes out is just going to be through those speakers with the music and the iFit content that's playing on there. You can store it up out of the way. You just need enough ceiling height for that, and it can also be moved because it has wheels on the front stabilizer, so it can be moved around pretty easily, especially if you need to move it around occasionally. And also those Velcro foot straps are really nice. They keep your foot really secure, and they are easy to get in and out of really quickly. Overall, we're really impressed with the new 2022 model. Thanks for watching our review. If you want to learn more about the RW900 Rower, we have a full written review at treadmillreviewguru.com. You can read more about the little details there. You can click the link below to check for current pricing on this rower. And if you like this video and find it helpful, give it a like and subscribe to our channel. We create these videos for you guys. That way you can make informed buying decisions. And we also do giveaways sometimes, so you can check back with us and see if we're doing one. Maybe we'll give away a treadmill. We partner with the brands that we work with to be able to bring a little bit more equipment to the community. I'm Sydney with Treadmill Review Guru. I'll see you next time.